Everybody, and welcome to Checkpoint on Campus, your official voice of Collegiate Esports. I am your host, Norris Howard, and joined alongside me is Jacob Brothers from Sandy, Las Vegas. What's going on, Jacob?
Hello. I miss Collegiate Overwatch very much.
I miss it a lot already myself, but that doesn't mean that things aren't happening. You brought to us a very interesting story about GCN, the Gaming Community Network. They're looking to make a huge esports initiative. Can you give us more details on this one?
Yeah, this is another one of those tournaments where just two big companies are coming together and it's just going to be broadcast. So it's the Gaming Community Network with Wagner, and they both have just tremendous outreach, and they're combining to do a big tournament with 10 specific NCAA conferences. So, running through them very quickly, those conferences would be American East, Big South, Big West, Colonial Athletic Association, Metro Athletic, Atlantic Athletic, Southland, Sunbelt, West Coast, Western Athletic, and Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association. So not a lot of like the big names that we hear say on like the D1 football teams.
Yeah, the Big 10, Big 12, Pac-10, Pac-12, stuff like that, SEC, yeah.
Yeah, and these conferences involve more than 100 schools, and any student from these schools, from these conferences, can participate in this tournament. So
that's cool.
Yeah, right? So it's going to be a Fortnite tournament, and it's going to be starting on May 2021, and the top two teams will be able to move on to a championship tournament where they can receive cash prizes or scholarships, which is kind of we haven't really heard that in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah,
so
that's
pretty interesting.
I think because if they keep it in the realm of amateur, and I think if you do it to like 18 and up or something, there may be some legalese that they're able to wiggle around to actually be able to give a cash prize. I know if you're playing for a collegiate team, that becomes a lot muddier, but if it's just a random squad of kids that can pop up and play, that may change the rule set a little bit. But I think this is really cool. Again, like I've always said, I think Fortnite is a low-key, big-brain game. I think to play it at the highest level, you got to be incredibly good. But, I am, again, growing a little bit concerned because I see American East, Big South, Big West, Metro Atlantic, Sunbelt, West Coast. There's a big old chunk of schools and kids in the middle of the country that nobody is trying to get in on these esports things. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just go out here and say it. I'm going to say it. Y'all scared. They're scared. They're scared. Because you look at Maryville, Northwood, Purdue, Akron, or Miami of Ohio. You got all of these schools coming from the Midwest. Let's not even count the whole of the University of Illinois and all their satellite campuses. You got all these schools from the middle of the country that are dominating in esports. Dominating. I would even almost throw Harrisburg in there because, Pennsylvania is halfway the East Coast and halfway the Rust Belt. So whatever, I'll throw them in there too. But y'all scared, man. Include the Midwest. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the Midwest coming in and winning all the actual competitions, and then when it comes time for an invitational, don't nobody want to invite them. Like, I just think it's a sad opportunity for a large group of kids that probably could be very good at this invitational.
Yeah, but we've talked about how we don't have Division I and Division II and all that in esports, and there might be a time where we have to do that kind of a thing, where we have these schools that are so dominant and so on top of everything. Now, granted, this is a ginormously broadcast tournament on Wagner's Twitch, and I agree with your point. But at the same time, it is good for these schools that can't really find success yet to have that exposure to kind of get them on the map. And then they roll out their programs, and then, that snowball begins to happen that we want every school to have.
Yeah, so listen, I think this is an increasingly great idea to hold these types of events, especially for those students who may not necessarily make it into their varsity program, or maybe their school club or their school program is closed off. They got all the kids that they're gonna have, and they literally have no more room. I like that this gives an opportunity to the very good amateurs on your campus and doesn't necessarily lock it to just the teams. But I'm gonna be honest. I see this and I just think not including more of the Midwest it is a tragedy. No Mountain West, so there's no Boise State, no Colorado State, no UNLV, no Utah in this. So it just continues to confound me that people want to centralize things like this on the coast when the talent ain't on the coast, not nationally. Not to take anything away from any of these schools, but if we're talking about where the dominance is coming from, it ain't there. But registration for this is already open. Go and check it out. You can search for it. Registrations, if your school falls into any of these conferences, you can register to play, and we want to see who can come out on top of this really cool Fortnite event. So thanks, Jacob, for bringing this up, and we're going to have more from Checkpoint on Campus coming up.